My name is Dustin McKee. I'm the CEO of the Ohio Psychological Association. We represent Ohio's 3,500 or so licensed psychologists. So we're excited to have CEs here, whoever set it up with OPA. That was very nice. And thanks to Dr. Tilley and Dr. McConnell for being here. And Dr. Gordish, I think she's a member as well, right? Anyway, the Resource and Care Connections Committee is primarily focused on trying to braid those services together that are often kind of stovepiped out there in the community, particularly at the time of discharge from the hospital and the jail. So obviously we want to continue to grow our membership. I did score Rick Tully, though, for those of you who know Rick, that's a big deal. We've been working on some goals for this coming year to identify and construct a standard template of working with various organizations like Medicaid Managed Care, community mental health centers, federally qualified health centers, the jails, and freestanding hospitals to connect them, to connect folks with SPMI discharged from jail to comprehensive health and mental health care and human services benefits, with an emphasis on scalability and replicability across diverse settings. We have a less lofty goal of examining opportunities to update the existing HIPAA and 42 CFR Part 2 privacy release form to streamline it and consolidate the form to reflect the updates in federal law and state administrative code. So in other words, we'd have one form for HIPAA and 42 CFR now that those laws have been integrated and the rule has been implemented here in Ohio. So that's exciting. And then, more emphasis on integrating the freestanding psychiatric hospitals with the rest of the system. We know that there's significant challenges here. Obviously, our state hospitals are not the front line anymore for civil commitments. And those freestanding hospitals don't necessarily have the same medical record systems that are connected to those CMHCs. And there's some, I think, policy considerations that we need to look through. And I think we were able to see some changes in the system that allow for community mental health centers to do a warm handoff from somebody in the hospital. At this point, they can bill if they come on site, but that's been something that hasn't been there for quite some time. So some of those hospitals might not even realize that they can have those case managers come in right before discharge to make sure that that person continues to receive that psychiatric treatment on an outpatient basis. And then examining the role of probation in developing collaborative opportunities with our community mental health centers and FQHCs and MCOs. The reason that I'm bringing up the federally qualified health centers a lot is because we have something in Ohio called presumptive eligibility for Medicaid. And that allows us to look at the person's adjusted gross income and make sure that if it's 138% or less, we don't have to worry about an asset test or a disability test. We can get that person Medicaid relatively easily and relatively quickly. And then they're able to hopefully get integrated into the higher tier of Medicaid managed care. So I'd be interested, Your Honor, in Dayton to see if you might be able to create a collaborative arrangement with CareSource, because they cover about half of our lives. There used to be a guy named Kieran Hurley over there at CareSource that was able to look at a system. Can't remember the name of the database. What was it? CDP. I think so, yeah. And he could see when his CareSource clients were admitted into jail and discharged from jail. And the idea would be that that would save them a ton of money, because if they're going to jail and leaving a jail, chances are they're gonna, in the emergency room, and when MCOs get paid up front, they obviously want to avoid the ER. Yeah.